Well, Chad and Mandy Stacy had a heartbreaking decision to make. Should they allow their newborn son to undergo chemotherapy when the chemo itself might kill him, if, of course, the cancer didn't kill him first?
Leukemia in newborns is very rare, but somehow Ethan Stacy of Beech Grove, Tennessee, was born with it. And according to his doctors, he would die from it.
Ethan had AML, which is a very aggressive type of leukemia. Children who are actually born with leukemia don't usually do very well.
Dr. Melissa Rhodes was one of Ethan's physicians at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital in Nashville, Tennessee.
The best we could offer was to put Ethan through difficult chemotherapy and still not know that he would make it through.
In fact, chemo is so toxic for newborns that doctors gave Ethan's parents the option not to treat their son.
We came home, and I remember laying in bed and praying, and we said, you know, God, give us an answer. And we both woke up the next morning and both said, no, we're not going to put him through it.
So Chad and Mandy Stacy took their son home. A few days later, tumors started popping up all over Ethan's body.
Feet, his hands, and his forearm. That's when he started not breathing, you know.
Then he took his final turn for the worse.
And I called Vanderbilt and said, you know, what do I do if something happens? And they told me not to call 911. The nurse told me, or that he might hemorrhage, which then I would see blood in his diaper, maybe coming out of his ears.
Ethan was near death when Chad and Mandy took the painful walk through the cemetery to see the place where they would bury their son.
Please welcome to the 700 Club, Chad and Mandy Stacy. It's wonderful to have you both here. You know, we watched that, and you two as parents, I'm sure, are now aware that that's every parent's nightmare. I mean, especially with a newborn, a time of joy, everything should be wonderful and celebrating, and here you're faced with these kinds of decisions for your new son. Chad, what made you decide not to do the chemotherapy?
I don't know. I just knew that God was with us, and I just kept praying that His will be done and everything.
Yeah.
And,
Mandy, I can't imagine. I mean, there was a volume of question behind your question to the nurses. What do I do? I mean, the question is, what do I do if he dies? What do I do with my son's body? I mean, what was going through your mind at that time?
Right. It was very scary, just thinking of what could occur.
Yeah, and, just a lot of dread. Just a lot of dread. Here you were walking through a cemetery, Chad, trying to figure out where you would bury your son. What went through your mind at that time as a dad?
I guess that we just had a newborn baby and we're fixing to, you know, bury him.
So here you are going through this living day to day, wondering how long this is going to happen. You're physically seeing Chad get worse. I mean, he had sores on his body. Tumors began to develop, not one, not two, but literally all over his body. So you're seeing the manifestation of what doctors are saying is a possibility. Mandy, when did it begin to turn around? What happened?
Well, he became really sick, where he was having periods of apnea, where he would stop breathing for a matter of 30 seconds to a minute, and just gradually he got better. He started feeding and eating, and just like a typical newborn baby. And I remember telling that we were talking and praying, and I remember saying to Chad, I think he's being healed. And we told doctors, but their reaction was that we were both in denial.
Was it hard to believe for that when what you were seeing with your eyes, I mean, until he began to take the food, even when he took the food, he still had the tumors.
Right.
So the tumors didn't really dissolve until gradually after he began to eat, right?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
So how did you hang on to faith in the middle of that?
I don't know. I just knew that He was with us.
Yeah.
You just feel it. You just know.
You had a church that was really standing with you too, didn't you, Mandy?
Our church prayed, and our friends, and I mean, it meant the world to us.
You know, one of the things we love on this program is hearing what doctors have to say about healing. And so let's listen to Dr. Rhodes' response to Ethan's recovery.
Ethan had gotten about as sick as a baby could possibly get, and then spontaneously got better. So we wanted to look, was there still evidence of leukemia in Ethan? And we did the bone marrow test, which showed no evidence of leukemia. For him to have gotten as absolutely sick as he did and then just turn around spontaneously overnight, that's a miracle. That's a miracle, and the miracle is with us. We'd like you to meet Ethan himself. Ethan, come on up here. You don't look sick a bit. Now, you were so young when all of that happened that you probably don't remember any of it. But what do you think today when you hear people talk about what God has done for you? Is it hard to imagine that you actually went through all of that? Yeah, but you look pretty healthy today. What do you like to do in your free time, Ethan? What's fun for you?
Playing on my DS.
Playing on your DS, okay. Are you a sports guy? Do you like sports? Or yes? Yeah, because you look like somebody who's really got some muscle and baseball. Some baseball. I like that too. I like that too. Well, we've got some wonderful stories all this week on how God has done miracles like he did for you, Ethan. You know, it's an unusual thing, isn't it, for a baby to be born with leukemia? Right. And that's kind of the difficulty here, that when that happens, the treatment is, the prognosis for the treatment is not good at all. So what you saw happen with Ethan is really an astonishing miracle. Chad, when did you get to the place where you could really exhale and say, God has restored my son to me?
You know, for me, just during the period that I knew that his will was going to be done, that I was okay with him dying or living.
Yeah.
But I'm happy he was living. But
even 8 years later, it's a powerful thing to see and remember and to know what God did, which was amazing. We have a great little booklet that we're giving anybody who's interested. It's called Secrets of the Supernatural. And if you'd like to get a hold of this, all you have to do is call the number that's on your screen. It's 1-800-759-0700. And we just are grateful to see you here, Ethan, healthy and happy with your mom and dad. And I know that they're rejoicing in God's amazing gift, the gift of a son.